we can do footage, it's fine.
So this is our opening cutscene. You rewatch it if you want to skip it. Okay.
This is different from yesterday.
Is it?
Go through each sequence of the game. Do you see what I'm saying?
I think just across Disney, there's a ton of different art styles, and all of this is history. They just really capture a lot of different ones. So you see, like the short levels that are like kind of like 2D platforming levels in between the games are always based on a classic Disney cartoon.
Right.
And each one of those has an art style that represents the cartoon they were based on. So Mad Doctor's Lab is the new level that we have today. It's the beginning of the game, so it's got a lot of tutorials and everything. You haven't been given the paint dinner yet.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, you know, I'm going to put this up against yours. So.
Oh no.
No.
I was trying to break open the chest.
Fail.
So right now I'm just limited to jumping.
Right, so they just want to get you to understand the mechanic of like jumping, double jumping, and spin attack.
That's spin attack.
That's going to shake the
Waggle.
That's like to. Actually, it probably has to go up and register it. And everything the other direction. Go right to that. Mid move is how you'll open chests and things like that. So those are e-tickets, which are the main currency in the game.
Is there a chance you can stand in between us so I can hear the audio as well? Is there a chance you can stand here so I get the camera and hear the audio? In addition, like you can say where you are, but like maybe if you can, because the audio picks up here. Yeah, no problem.
So if you want to, you can go down and check out that secret room before finishing this portion of the level. actually back behind you the other way. Keep going that way.
Is the camera fixed?
There
It'll
it is.
follow you?
Pardon me?
The camera, you can't rotate the camera, it'll follow you only?
If you hit the C button, it will align the camera behind you, unless there's unless there's something in the way that will keep the camera moving.
So this is the very first level in the game?
Yeah.
The beginning sequence, did it show him going into this world, or did it?
Yeah, so he's, in the very beginning of the game, he's pulled into Wasteland by the Phantom Plot.
Okay.
And then once he's here, the Mad Doctor tries to take his heart, which you may have seen in the opening cutscene over there.
Okay.
And he gets away from that, and the Mad Doctor escapes the lab, but the robotic arm is still coming after Mickey, so that's what she just disabled a second ago.
Sure.
So now you're in Dark Beauty Castle, which is the first level, and you're Gus the Gremlin's helping you find your way out.
So is Mickey just as confused as we are?
Yeah, this is a new world to him, so he's been pulled into this area called Wasteland, where a bunch of kind of forgotten Disney characters and things have been, so it's kind of like an alternate version of Disney.
Is he gonna have a lot of questions of his own and stuff like that to ask characters, like what's going on and stuff?
Yeah, so as you go through the game, he learns more about Wasteland, and he helps restore Wasteland to its former glory.
And if you don't mind me asking, what was your involvement with the game?
I'm in marketing, so I'm here helping out with the demo staff.
Gotcha.
If you want to, we can grab one of the guys from Junctions Point. They can talk to you a little bit about the development of the game.
Oh, I mean, it's fine.
So this right here is going to take you to the next section of the castle, where they're going to teach you about paint and thinner, which are, Mickey's core tool in the game.
This is what I was talking about. Like earlier, it was just normal cinematics, and now it's like this watercolor kind of style, which I like, but it's just,
I think it was just a design choice to show different types of art styles.
So throughout the game, the cinematics are going to look different, or is it?
The cinematics will primarily stay like this.
Okay.
But you will see a bunch of different art styles in the game, especially in the 2D traditional levels.
Like some of the black and white 2D levels and stuff like that.
Yeah, and not all of them are black and white. It all depends on the original Disney cartoons they're based on.
Right. Like Steamboat Willie and so forth.
Right, exactly. When you finish this level here, it'll show you Mickey and the Beanstalk, which is based on a cartoon from Fun and Fancy Free from the 40s.
Sure.
So here you can see you can paint some objects. The objects you can paint are thin. The world is known as toon, and so it's kind of the brightly colored stuff. Anything that can be thin can also be repainted. So as you come down this corridor, it's going to teach you the importance of painting and thinning. And this is kind of some practice painting spots.
Stephanie, how do the controls feel?
they're pretty responsive.
Okay.
It might be the distance between me and the sensor right now, but I'm having some trouble with the pointing, with the pointer.
Okay. Yeah, it's sort of getting glued to the perimeter of the monitor, isn't it?
Yeah. But I think it's just because we're so close to it.
So if you thin those spots away, the brighter spots, the toon spots on the side, with the other one that comes up,
So would you say that there's a lot of puzzles in this game?
so there's a lot of puzzles on it. It gets progressively more difficult as the game goes along.
Okay.
So now we've seen, so far we've seen something where you painted in something to act with something and then you thinned it. This is a combination where you need to use both. So you actually thin out the floor here, and then you can jump that, but if you paint it back in, then you can just walk over that area.
Now when is this game set to release?
Holiday right now is what we're saying.
Okay. No specific date yet?
No date yet.
Okay.
So here's Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who you might have heard something about. So Oswald was one of Walt Disney's first cartoons, but he lost the rights to it. So over years and years and years, developed Mickey as a reaction to not being able to use Oswald. Years later, we reacquired Oswald and included him for the first time in years. So you've got a couple things to do here. One is to open that gate that Oswald was behind. Keep chasing him so Mickey can find out who Oswald is and what's going on. Another thing is when you jump up on this pressure plate here, you find out about a gremlin that's been stuck in this catapult. Then you have a choice, because the game's all about your playstyle making a difference. Your playstyle matters, as we say. So keep taking the remote and lower it down. So you've got a choice to either go get this treasure, which is a bunch of tickets, the game's e-tickets, the game's currency, or save the gremlin. If you get the tickets, then he'll be catapulted, and you won't see him again until later in the game, and he'll most likely be upset with you for catapulting you. But if you go and save him, you give up the tickets, so it's a choice you have to make.
Yeah. So is it a big difference, or is it going to be like the next level you're going to see him?
It's further on in the game. I think, gradually decisions you make, influence the game over time. So, it depends on like how much you interact with thinner in the environment, how much you interact with paint, and make some subtle changes in the types of reactions characters have to you.
Sure.
And then there's of course a ton of collectibles. You got the pin from the other room. There's a ton of pins in the game. If you've ever been to Disneyland, it's all about collecting and trading pins.
So in terms of story progression, does it progress by like, is it more like a collectathon, you know what I mean? Like you just collect a number of items to beat the game?
You're not required to do that, but it certainly is like an element that you can pursue for side quests if you want. So up that ramp is where you can start to get to the spot where you can open those gates where Oswald is.
What kind of items can you buy with the tickets?
We haven't revealed those yet, so we'll talk about those later.
How long is the game aiming to be?
Critical path, if you were not to go on any of the side quests, is probably in the neighborhood of 10 to 15 hours.
Okay.
If you're going to pursue everything and collect everything, you're probably talking about more along the lines of 25 hours.
Gotcha.
Those areas helps you navigate a little more. You don't have to, but it makes it easier for you. In some spots, of course, further on in the game, you'll have to solve puzzles using the paint that's there.
How long has the game been in development?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know off the top of my head. I mean, probably close to 2 years total. I mean, it all depends on whether you count production as the day they start building or the day they start concepting. So it goes back a number of years, though. I mean, the idea's been around for a long time. Warren's been working really hard on it for a long time.
Right. Yeah, he's been with Disney for, what, 2-3 years now?
Yeah, a couple of years. I don't know the exact number. You guys went up and had a chance to talk to Warren, right?
Yeah.
Okay. The great thing about Warren too is it's such a reverence and
passion.
Passion for all things Disney. So
absolutely.
And we definitely saw that when he was talking about his inspirations and stuff.
Yeah. There's so much, and it'd be interesting to see, when the game finally comes out and everybody's able to go through it. There's so many hidden things and references to cool Disney stuff.
I was actually a little confused. Are these projection screens like a portal into the next level, or is it just like a mini game kind of thing?
It's kind of a bridge to the next level. So it's how you transition from place to place in the world.
But then in between there's like a mini game, like a 2D mini game, or what?
Yeah, so actually if you go down to that one, since you've already rescued the gremlin, you can go straight to that portion.
Is there fall damage?
Yeah, I just took fall damage.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
So it's right behind you, and go backwards the other way.
So what happens when you die? Do you restart the level, or?
Yeah.
Okay. I was just telling her earlier, I know that you guys don't have voice acting in your game, and it's sort of, I guess, the barking as such. And I was a little surprised because I figured that a lot of kids would be playing this game, perhaps kids that don't know how to read yet. And I know it's probably more cost-effective to do this, but I just thought that was interesting.
I think they wanted to make a game for everyone, and they wanted to make the game big also, so there are limitations about...
Sure, yeah, it's not a Blu-ray, is it? It's like a...
Right.
Yeah, it's on the Wii, right? Now, are there any plans for a sequel?
At the moment, we're just focused on this one.
Okay.
So this particular level, as I mentioned, it's called Mickey the Beanstalk. It's based on a short called Mickey the Beanstalk from Fun and Fancy Free, which I believe came out in 1947.
Yeah, I watched this as a kid, so I do remember this. Fail.
Level, but we've also included some other stuff if you want to play around on here. There's another full 3D world that we showed, I think, at a convention earlier this month, or maybe it was last month. That one's called Ticket Booth, and then there's several of the 2D levels too, so feel free to play around. You can skip through if you want to play it. So, Gremlin Village Ticket Booth, again, is a 3D level. It's got some more platforming stuff. And it assumes, like you are now, you're familiar with Think Thinner. And then some of the other ones are just showing off some of the different art styles from the 2D levels. You can see this is kind of an alternate version of Fantasyland and Disneyland. So it's got a couple of familiar rides. Down low.
Now, Disneyland isn't in this game, is it?
Yep.
Okay.
You're not in the real world here, you're in Wasteland.
That's true, okay.
So you can choose to either friend these enemies by hitting them with paint, and then they'll work on your behalf, or you can thin them.
So if you friend them, they stay your friends forever, or do they eventually turn back into your enemies?
I believe they stay your friends until they get knocked by your spin move, or if you jump on their head, then they'll turn back to enemies.
Oh, gotcha. Because then I would say I would always be their friend then, because there doesn't seem to be any disadvantage to it. But I guess if you accidentally hit them, then they revert back.
It's one of those things that can have an effect later in the game, depending on how you play, whether you use a lot of thinner or you use a lot of paint.
I noticed actually, as they're fighting each other, the paint's coming off, and then the friendly effect.
Once they get knocked in the head, the friendly effect does wear off. So yeah, if they're knocking each other in the head, then they're wearing off the friendly paint.
So you can't have them fight each other professionally.
Right. The goal is to either fit them all or friend them all.
And you could do it by level, right? I mean, maybe the first level you'd befriend them, and the second level you'd like.
It's all up to you. How you play is totally up to you. So the critical path on this one is fairly brief. Like you could end the level now, but there's a couple of side quests that make things more interesting.
Are there ways in the game, like let's say you beat it, you can go back and play certain levels?
I think you can go back in. You might want to check the technical guys to be sure.
Sure.
So if you go around behind the Dumbo ride, there's another gremlin waiting to talk to you about how to fix up some of the rides.
How are the controls, Stephanie?
They're fluid.
Okay.
Intuitive.
So in order to get the wrench from in order to be able to fix the machines, I think you said it was in one of the teacups with a red stripe. So try thinning that one out.
Now, would you say most of the worlds, or most of the levels are fairly small, or would you say they're larger in scope?
That depends. I mean, I think that there are some larger ones and some smaller ones. I think it varies throughout the game.
Okay.
So in about 5 minutes, I'm going to need to take over. Oh yeah, here I need to play the game that I know.
That kind of gives you a staircase up to the second tier.
Now, speaking of Dumbo, like what characters might we see in this? Or are you guys kind of keeping that under wraps at this point?
Yeah, we haven't revealed the time. Only what we've shown is the demo so far.
Any chance we'll see the more modern, like maybe not Mickey related characters? Like maybe from like the 90s or anything like that?
I think there's a lot of Disney in there and a lot of things to discover.
Okay.
But yeah, like I said, we haven't revealed very much.
Sure.
Where are the staircases?
Oh, back to the, if you jump on the elephants, the Dumbo elephants, one to another, you'll see how they're kind of staggered.
And Steffi, you never feel confused as to where you can use the paint and so forth?
When we spoke to Warren yesterday, he made it pretty clear that some were inert,
right?
So they're a little bit darker, and you can't thin them out or interact with them.
And it's pretty clear you're never confused or anything like that, not yet, anyways.
Not yet. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm confused why these are shiny or glowing sometimes.
That means you're trying doing a spin move on them and see if that
So that's all it means?
It just means you can interact.
Interact with, yeah. Try to paint that maybe, yeah.
I'm trying to move the camera.
Oh. Ah, nice. Uh-oh.
I am on the public.
How do we get back up? She says, yeah.
You're going to have to go back all the way to the jumbo section before you get back up again.
Alright, you just want to call it, Stephanie?
Yes.
Alright. Yes.
Oh, I did not know that.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
I would love to get one of your cards so I can send you assets. Oh, you did? We gotta make a boat drive and boat load around here too. Oh, you went around too? Yeah. Okay.
That's kind of
Alright, Stephanie.
Yeah. Next time we're in California.
Let's stay there, okay. I think we got enough footage.
Okay. We don't like you. I love you.
Get off anymore. We found it interesting.
Okay.
Since this is one of the levels that's towards the middle of the game, I've got a good for you if you want it.
Do I ride the gears?
You do, but it's going to be tricky to do without stopping though.
Okay.
Ah, I see.
Try it on the other side though, where the gear's at.
I see. Okay.
It's tricky. So there are some decent puzzles for the game.
Yeah,
It's not just like little kiddie puzzles.
Yeah, it's a game for everyone. So there's plenty for everyone. There's definitely some
Tricky ones. Okay, I gotcha. Yeah, because the early ones are deceptively easy. So perhaps
that's because that's the very first level. And
right.
It's really
fair enough. Yeah.
Just kind of getting you into the game.
So this is actually towards the middle of the game.
Yep. This is where your level is. Yeah.
Is it possible to actually do past this part without doing that?
You know, I don't know. I've never done it myself. I suppose it might be. You have to time it just perfect though. Just past a certain point, the angle will be too extreme for Mickey to stay on it.
Sure.
Like I might rotate that one a little more before I jumped on it.
Whoa.
Don't forget you can double jump too. Yeah, there you go. There you go, perfect. So this is another one of those playstyle matters choices. You can either choose to fill that pump with paint or thinner, and depending on what you do, you're either going to be fixing up the teacup ride or you're going to be breaking the teacup ride in order to get some additional tickets.
Now this is a middle level, right?
Yeah.
How many levels are in the game?
We haven't revealed what the total number level yet.
Okay.
So back over to the pump there. You're going to fill up one side with either paint or thinner, whichever you like.
Do you know where to go now, Steph?
Well, I assume where the Guardians